This is part 3. We're breaking down episode 2 of The Idol. Jocelyn had a complete breakdown at her music video shoot and she finally has to be carried out. She's crying, she's in pain, she's bleeding. Meanwhile, we see Tedros at the club. He's directing Isaac, who is also a singer. It looks like they're practicing for some sort of music video shoot or dance or something. There's definitely some form of torture involved, but things are getting weird over here. Also, while he's directing Isaac, he tells him, "You're a star," the same thing he told Jocelyn. The next morning, Chaim tells Jocelyn that Nikki decided to scrap the video. Jocelyn is terrified that her career is going to be over. Of course, she calls Tedros and invites him over, and he agrees. Except Tedros is with Diane. I knew it! I knew she was the villain. Sadly, I saw right through this BFF act. Diane is sitting right across from Tedros as he's on the phone with Jocelyn. She asks him if Jocelyn is better than her, if you know what I mean. He says, "Baby, nobody is better than you." And this scene confirms that Tedros meeting Jocelyn at the club was a setup. But Diane is jealous that Tedros made music with Jocelyn, and he says, "She asked me to." Diane also tells Tedros that Nikki wants to sign her, and his response is, "Great, I can finally get that return on you." Oh my gosh, I totally saw this coming. He also says, "Have Nikki call me to negotiate." Jocelyn is excited that Tedros is coming over, and she even puts on high heels even though her feet are still bleeding. Tedros comes over to Jocelyn's house with a few friends, including Isaac, and this is Chloe, who is played by Susanna's son. She's super impressed with the house and right away asks if she could jump in the pool. She takes off her clothes and goes skinny dipping. Isaac, again, is totally there to just distract Leia. They start hooking up. She asks how he knows Tedros. He says he met him in church. Tedros heard Isaac singing and then he signed him. Leia was surprised to find out that Tedros is an artist manager, but then they proceed to hook up, as planned, I'm sure. Even though Leia is totally skeptical of the whole thing, the distraction worked. Also, everyone is partying, they're drinking. Tedros asks Leia if she's ever done Coca-Cola, if you know what I mean. She says no. He says, "Do you trust me?" She says, "I just met you," but then she takes the Coca-Cola anyways. Also, I will say Leia was surprised to know that Tedros went to church, and Isaac says, "You'd be surprised, he's very godly." And by that, it's pretty clear that he meant, he's very godly. He's like their cult leader. Tedros and Jocelyn are in the other room. She tells him what happened at the music video shoot, and she says, "I'm unreliable." He's encouraging her, saying, "You're Jocelyn, you're amazing, you're this and that." Then she asks him to blindfold her. Meanwhile, Chloe is eavesdropping and watching them, and she's getting into it too. She's also trying on Jocelyn's clothes and jewelry, and Tedros sees her, but obviously he doesn't care. So Tedros has Jocelyn blindfolded. He tells her to get on the bed and saying all these things to her, and she's so into it. He's just directing her, and I'm so sorry to do this, but go to part 4.